I'm sure we're going to get a bit more on that Champions League second leg involving Liverpool from Hugh, who's at the BBC Sports Centre. Hi there, Hugh.
Hello, good afternoon, Clive. Yes, the countdown has begun to Liverpool's biggest match in years as they seek a place in the Champions League final for the first time since 2007. We're going to cross live to Rome right now. Join our sports correspondent, David Ornstein. David, we'll talk a little bit about the match in just a moment, but of course so much made of security ahead of the game. Just tell us how you found things in Rome so far.
Hugh, it's been very calm here, actually, a relaxed atmosphere, a party atmosphere, to be honest, and despite the incident before the first leg at Anfield last week, when the Liverpool fan Sean Cox was left in a critical condition after being attacked by Roma fans in a disturbing incident that I witnessed, today has been much better. Liverpool fans arrived gradually. Yesterday was very quiet. It was a public holiday here, but today they came on numbers, in full voice and high spirits. They followed the instructions that they were told, if they did so, would guarantee their safety. There were no colours being worn. They were not walking to the stadium. There was no alcohol being consumed in public places. They were respecting national monuments, and that's created a great atmosphere in the stadium already behind me. So far, so good, but there will also be eyes on what happens after the match as well. So it's not job done just yet on the security front.
No, David, and it's not job done for Liverpool's players either on the pitch, because, of course, they do have a big advantage from the first leg. But I guess there are some ominous signs those Roma supporters will cling to.
Yeah, 5-2 Liverpool lead from that dramatic first leg at Anfield that put Liverpool in a commanding position. Now, some have said it puts one foot in the final, but Georginio Wijnaldum, speaking yesterday, says you either have 2 feet in the final or none at all, and those 2 away goals could come back to haunt Liverpool. Of course, Roma in the previous round scored 3 goals here against Barcelona unanswered, and that sent them through. If they repeat that scoreline tonight, they will go through to the final against Real Madrid. So Liverpool will have to be on their guard, and Jurgen Klopp knows it.
We are here to fight for our dreams. That's how it is. And we want to go to the final, how you can imagine. A lot of people think Rome has only to win 3-0. But that's quite a result. The specific story of Liverpool in Rome and having games here, that's great. But I think nobody here really thinks it helps a lot that our grandfathers won here. We don't have to make it bigger than it is. It's already big enough. We only have to do what our boys are best in, playing football.
So kick-off in just over 2 hours' time. Liverpool bidding to reach an 8th European Cup final as they continue their pursuit for to win the trophy for a 6th time. Roma have never won it. It's a repeat of the 1984 final on this very ground, which Liverpool won on penalties, and they'll be hoping for more celebrations tonight on and off the pitch. Hugh.
David Ornstein, our sports correspondent in Rome, thank you very much. That is all the sport for now. But don't forget, you can get all the latest from the World Snooker Championship on the BBC Sport website. Barry Hawkins and Kyron Wilson already through to the semi-finals. Live coverage of the 2 other quarter-finals this evening across the BBC. It's bbc.co.uk/sport. And don't forget, Sports Day at 6:30.
OK, Hugh, thanks for that. Now, senior members of the Cabinet are meeting to discuss Brexit amid mounting pressure from some MPs for Theresa May to abandon her preferred option for a new customs arrangement. An influential group of Brexiteers says such an arrangement would make meaningful future trade deals impossible. Well, the customs union is central to how the EU handles trade, which is why it's such a crucial issue. Well, Chris Morris is here with more detail on this. Hi there, Chris.
Hi, Clive. Thanks very much. Yeah, so this is all about trying to ensure that trade remains as easy as possible. Frictionless is the government's preferred term once the UK has left the EU. At the moment, like every other country in the EU, the UK is automatically part of the customs union. That means there are no internal tariffs or taxes on goods going from one country to another, which makes it easier for manufacturers of, for example, car parts or medicines to move stuff around. So it's cheaper to do business. Here's another important aspect of a customs union. All the countries involved impose the same level of tax on goods coming into the EU from outside, a common external tariff. Again, that makes things easy. But Once you have that common external tariff, then you can't do your own separate trade agreements with other countries around the world. That's why the EU negotiates trade deals on behalf of all its member states. Now, that is one thing the government insists must change after Brexit. Part of taking back control, it says, is being able to do your own deals. So, is there any way of replicating what the government likes about the customs union without the bits it doesn't? Well, for months now, it's been discussing two proposals. Firstly, a new customs partnership, which would see the UK collecting EU tariffs on goods arriving from other countries at UK borders on the EU's behalf. If those goods then stayed in the UK, companies could claim back money that they were owed. But it could take years to set such a system up. The EU's sceptical about whether it will work anyway, and supporters of Brexit see it as a trap to keep the UK locked into the EU system. The second proposal is for a highly streamlined customs arrangement, using new technology and other schemes such as allowing companies to settle their bills every few months rather than every time they cross a border. But while that could minimise checks, it wouldn't get rid of them altogether, which means it rubs up against one of the trickiest issues in the Brexit process, the need to ensure that there's no hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. So the Cabinet is trying to figure out which option to pursue, while Labour, other opposition parties and some Tory rebels think the only answer is to negotiate a new improved customs union with the EU. It all means that Brexiteers now fear a plot to thwart the whole Brexit process. Their opponents say it's time to see sense, and the political temperature is rising. Clive.
OK. Chris, thanks for that. Chris Morris there from our Reality Check team. Right, let's move on. MPs have been told the chief executive of TSB, Paul Pester, won't be receiving £2 million of his bonus because of the computer problems which prevented thousands of people from accessing their accounts. Mr. Pester told the Treasury Select Committee that the bank's website and mobile app had been unable to cope with demand last week. But he said the vast majority of customers were now successfully using the bank's services.
I have data showing me that of the customers that attempt to log in, by looking at the pages that are served to the customers, the login page, the successful login page, an error page, comparing the ratios, the percentage that are logging in successfully are 95%. Now, of course, 5% of customers are not logging in. That is often the case for any bank. If this customer is having problems logging in, please contact us. There's a form on the website if they don't want to go to the branch, they don't want to telephone us. There's a form on the website which is very simple and straightforward to fill in. There could be